Well, hello and welcome back. I think I'm gonna change my concept on the expedition. Um, Reason being, well, I'm not gonna get into all the detail, but the main aspect is I don't have the retaining clips to hold the airlines into the air compressor. And basically, I'm gonna need another air compressor just in order to get the retaining clips. Um, they're little plastic clips. Some the originals are brass, but the replacements are plastic. And it's just gonna leak air out of there until I get those clips, and it won't fill up the air springs. So calling around, looking around, asking around, texting, everything I can do, searching. The only way to get those retaining clips is to buy another air compressor. I got an air compressor. I got two that work. Why would I buy a third? So, yeah, I was had the suggestion handed to me by somebody who you do know who you are. Oh, go ahead and just buy yourself a new pump and air compressor and take the clips out and return the air compressor and tell them, it didn't come with the clips and you decided to go with a different alternative method anyway. And I was like, no way, I'm not doing that. That's just too dishonest. I can't do that. I will not pull that one. Maybe back in the day, yeah, I could have done that, but no, not now. Not when I got wife and kids, and and you gotta set the example for your kids. And how am I supposed to teach them not to do something like that if I'm going to go ahead and do something like that? That's just not going to happen. So I'm just not going to do that. So I think I'm going to go with the coil spring conversion. Um, I say I think I'm going to go with it. Uh, Yet today I just ordered the coil spring conversion kit. That should be in about 7 days. Until then, truck's still sitting there in the garage. It's already been like 2, 3 weeks since the last time I did anything to it. But I figured, hey, she wants the blue, accents to it, and hey, to each their own. I'm not too keen on the blue against the burgundy, but my wife likes the blue, and so I'll show you what I did to the hub. I mean the rotors, but I'm looking. Well, I got the blue valve stem uh, covers, anodized blue chrome, and then I don't like the hubs when you put the hubs on these things. The little center hubcaps to cover up the lugs. To me they look so dorky. I just don't like them. They look dorky. I think the wheels, my opinion, and my wife's opinion as well. I'm not giving her her opinion. That was her opinion. Is with the hubs off, the hubcaps off, the wheels look more mean. So I figured I'd dress it up a bit, and so I did get these little things. They're like blue vacuum covers, okay, vacuum cap covers. Um, that's what they look like. You can actually buy them. They're lug nut covers. You cover your lug nuts with them. Cover your nuts. All right, and I got these things for hers that I just pop over the. Oh, there we go. I just pop it right over the lug nuts, and they stay on there. Okay, just pop them right on, and they stay on. But I figured, and then I went. Well, then I went to do uh, the lettering on the tires, and I use this stuff here. Called tire ink. Okay, I use this stuff. And I'm telling you, I bought the blue for hers because I did the burgundy for mine. I did the red, the burgundy. It comes out like a burgundy. I did this for mine. Alright, but I gotta tell you something. That brand right there, do not buy it, do not use it unless you plan on redoing your tires every 30 days. It took about 30 days for the blue to go to a, we'll just say, an infant baby's turquoise looking color. It's a nasty turquoise. I'd show it to you on the camera, but it never looks the same on the camera. It just looks like turquoise. And turquoise lettering against that deep blue, nah, doesn't look right. And then you got the burgundy, no. I'm looking to try some different lettering. I actually tried. I just wanted to see. I did scuff the lettering edges down, cleaned it all up, real nice and neat. Just the outlines of the lettering, and then I actually took some blue, which matches those the caps, blue paint, just to see. Now I know the tire flexes as you get the pressure on it and stuff. I figure it might chip after a while. Well, you know what? Hey, it doesn't hurt to try. And this truck's going to be here for a while until I get the coil springs and all that. So I figured I'd paint it, hand paint the lettering, and let it sit for a few days. See what happens. Now, like I said, that's after cleaning it, scuffing it, and cleaning it. And nah, I took a rag after like 3 or 4 days of it being on there, and I just started wiping the letters on the tire with a rag. And now it looks like it's antique, like it's got like a blue / turquoise patina to it. And I'm like, no, it just started flaking off. So I'm looking to try to find some different tire lettering paint that will actually stay and hold up. So if any of you out there know of any brand names that you've used, or you know somebody who has used that or show a good quality, well then comment down below there so I can I'll give it a shot. You know, I found one. They want well, I just need one pen for it, and they're like, oh no, you got to order a minimum of 2. So instead of $19.90 something, I got 50 some bucks just for the lettering. You know, and I won't need them both, and that means I have to buy 4, 2 blue and 2 burgundy, because the burgundies that I did on my truck, they're black again. And that's from sitting in the garage, being driven once, maybe twice in the last month. And they're faded out. Crap. Don't ever buy that product. That's my personal opinion. You want to buy it, go for it. Just be prepared to buy more and do it every 30 days. That's about it. So that's my product review on that. And like I don't get any, this is not an endorsed channel. This is not some monetized channel. This is nothing like that. This is just how they want to put it for shits and giggles. That's about it. I just do stuff, and stuff I've never done before. I just jump in and see what I can do. Other stuff I have done before, I haven't done in a long time. I still don't want to do it, but I'll go and do it. So, but this channel is going to have other stuff in it. Like you see the scrap wood thing. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to go and get your perfectly straight wood and buy that wood and how to measure it all down perfectly and get your perfect straight cuts and line it all up and get out the micrometer and make everything good and then reseal it all up your edges. No, I'm not going to do any of that. This channel is for amateurs that want to save the money just to throw something together, to get it up there, get it put together, and get it out the door. Or, you know, stuff like that. My wife's truck, though, when it comes to her truck, I'm not doing anything half-assed. It's just not going to do it that way. If it's not going to work perfectly, rip it all out and do it all over and put it back together perfectly. That's how her truck gets done. So that's what I'm doing with the coil springs. I think I'm going to go coil springs. Mine already has had the conversion done. I did not do it myself. I have personally never done a air ride suspension to coil spring conversion before. And that'll be the first. This will be the first time I do it. But I mean, okay. Here's going to be the what do you call it? The jinx. How hard can it be? You know. I did order some coil spring compressors. You put them on the coil spring, tighten them down, and they pull down. They bring the coil spring down so you can get it up in there, line it all up, and then jack your rear end up to get them. And seated at the top and seated at the bottom, and then release those out and pull those out, and then bring it down, and then they should be seated in place. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna rip out any of the air suspension lines. I'm gonna put like a plastic bagging over a plastic over the ends of them, and I'm gonna mummify them in electrical tape and zip tie them up in the top underneath and stuff like that. I'll turn off the air ride suspension switch so that the air compressor will not kick on. And I'll have it still there, everything intact. So if anybody ever wants to get the coil springs out of there and go back to air ride, they'll be able to do that without adding anything. All they got to do is yank out the coil springs, compress the coil springs, pull those out, put another set of air springs in it, and then unwrap everything else, plug it back in, flip the switch in the quarter, put the new retaining clips on the air compressor, and they'll have an air ride suspension. And plus, if she ever wants to go back to air ride suspension, well, then I'll do that. I can do that as well. Mama gets what mama wants, how they say it, happy wife, happy life. But, it's my pleasure to do those kinds of things. I like to make sure she's happy. And whatever it takes, that's what it'll get done. But that is the extent of the update of what's going on with that. Other than that, now, like I said, if y'all know of any good tire paint, let me know. I've been thinking about, hey, if y'all got a comment on it, please tell me. I'm just, I got this empty head here with thoughts bouncing around in it. I was thinking of getting street paint. The paint they put down on streets. Cars run over that all the time. It's on the black top. The heat out here, it expands, it contracts, it expands, it contracts, and it's still there. What's that stuff made out of? I'd like to see if I can get some of that and maybe try that on the lettering of the tires. See how long that holds up. And although she did clip a curb, when I was looking at the tires, I noticed some of the blue, or the turquoise I should say, was wiped off the edge. When I was looking at it, I walked in and said, "So you hitting tires, huh?" "Oh, I was over at Yada Yada's house, and the curb is where you park is on a curve, and yeah, I did scrape." Yeah, I know you scraped the tire. I can see it. I know when any little new nick or scratch or ding or whatever comes on these vehicles. I'm so on them all the time. I know every little mark on these things. And I even told her, I said, "What'd you bump into with the bumper?" "Oh, I didn't hit anything." Somebody had backed into her and left, because there's gouges in the bumper that were never there. And one day, there they were. Oh, you gotta be kidding. One moment here. Alright, we're back. But yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm still saying I think I'm going to do, and yet I ordered the coil springs. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt it. And then I'm going to show you here what I did on the, what I'm doing to add the blue aspect to, blue accents a little bit more for her vehicle. One thing I'm doing, I'm going to take my dead blow here, my filthy dead blow, and I'm cleaning it up to make it back bright orange again. I clean up my tools on a regular basis. Good old dead blow. These things come in real good handy. And I don't know where I got this one. It was a cheapo. I don't remember where I got it, but it's been lasting a long time. Looks like, I don't know if that's made in USA or not. But one thing I have shied away from is anything Harbor Freight. Anything Harbor Freight. They don't stand behind squat. I bought I don't know if I might have put it in one of the videos before. Who knows? But I bought a breaker bar when I was going to do a serpentine belt. I figured I'll just get the breaker bar. It's cheaper, than a serpentine tool. But then I found the serpentine tool, which I got hanging there. Figured, hey, that wasn't that expensive, So I figured I'd get the serpentine tool. And I bought the serpentine tool as well. And then when I got the breaker bar, I just set it on top of my toolbox, and it was sitting in there forever, like a couple of years, maybe a year, maybe a little more. But I did the whole serpentine belt with the serpentine belt tool. Then I take out the breaker bar to go ahead and take off the lug wrench. I put it on there, and I go to break off the lug nut. Snap! Oh, that wasn't the lug nut. That was the breaker bar. About busted knuckles and everything else. One use, and it snapped. So I sent them an email. They came back with, oh, well, we need your proof of purchase. I showed you the picture. Doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if I bought it or I found the damn thing. It's brand new. You can see there's not even a scratch on it. I sent them a bunch of pictures. Brand new. Look at the clean snap on it. There's not even dirt on the thing. Oh, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Well, I said, you know what, sorry, I'm not buying anything from your place again. And I will tell everybody, and anybody that I deal with, that do not buy Harbor Freight crap. I've watched one of these guys. He's really good body man. He does really good work. I'm not. It's not an endorsement or anything like that. We don't know each other. Never met each other. Never talked to each other. Never communicated back and forth at all. So he doesn't know me. I don't know him. But I have seen his videos on YouTube. Weird Beard Mike at Weird Beard Auto Sales. That's Weird Beard Auto Sales is his channel. I have watched his stuff. That guy is so meticulous, so detail oriented, so much like I used to be when I used to do this stuff for a living. And he's still going strong on it. And he's good. He knows what he's doing, and he will not let the slightest imperfection go. I mean, this guy will go ahead and do the spot welds in the seam real nice and neat, and glaze them and sand them, and then then put in some little bit of mud or whatever, and then sit there and sand it down with finer grit and finer grit, and then rub it out a little bit and everything else. And that's the part of the seam that the rubber molding's going over that you won't see anyway. I'm like, that's detail. Okay, that guy's good. If I ever need a car done, I'd love for him to come on out here and do my car. Because he's really good. His paint jobs are great. Everything he does is really good. I'm really impressed. The only thing that didn't impress me is that he talks about Harbor Freight tools all the time. And the one video I was watching, he's like, yeah, I got this little metal wheel that, because I got one of those metal wheels as well. You put on the end of a drill or a grinder, and it's got the wire wheel on it, and you can get paint and stuff off. And he says, yeah, you get these at Harbor Freight. They're pretty cheap. They're only like $5 a wheel. And I'm like, yeah, let's see how many of those wires fly off and hit you in the face. And I was watching him in one of the videos, and he was like this a couple times. I'm like, there's your cheap Harbor Freight. You're going to take an eye out with those things. No, go get a better one. Don't deal with Harbor Freight. So I don't deal with Harbor Freight. I got a Harbor Freight jack, a floor jack. If you don't have the handle all the way up, you can't loosen or tighten it. If you have the handle down, you want to loosen and bring it down a little bit, and then quickly tighten it so your vehicle doesn't come all the way down. No, if you can break it up top, you can't get it tight. You got to get it up higher, and you can't if the vehicle's coming down. It's got fluid in it. It's got everything. It's good to go. I'm like, so I had to take the cover plate off of it so that when I have it down, I can stick like my Husky channel locks in there. Not that big. It's only going to be like that. So I can get in there and get the shaft and break the shaft loose on it. That's your Harbor Freight. Pittsburgh Tools. That's the Pittsburgh Tool. Jack, broken, no good. Pittsburgh Tool breaker bar. It just breaks. That's why it's a breaker bar. It'll break you. No more Harbor Freight crap. But anyway. So I don't mess with the Harbor Freight anymore. I had bought some Harbor Freight drills, cordless drills. I bought one of them, $19.99. Cool, cheap, I'll get it. 30 days later, the battery wouldn't take a charge anymore. So I bought another one, $19.99. I figured maybe I just got a bad one. 30 days later, the charger wouldn't even charge the battery. The other one, the battery was bad. This one, the charger wouldn't charge the battery. So I tried to put them together. And that worked for about another 2 weeks. The good charger on the good battery and put it in one drill. That worked for a couple weeks, and then it just didn't work anymore. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I went out and I bought a Ryobi for like $100, an impact gun, an impact cordless screwdriver, and a regular cordless screwdriver. I brought them home. Didn't even charge the batteries. I started using it, put them away. It was like a year that I had them. Before, and I didn't use them all the time, don't get me wrong. They usually sat in a drawer. But the batteries didn't die for like a year. And then I put them on the charger in like 15 minutes. They were charged up and good to go. I think I've charged them now since I've had them 3 times, maybe. And it's been quite a few years now. So and they're still going strong. Yeah, spend a little extra on your tools so that you don't have to spend more on the hospital bill when you bust your knuckles open, break fingers and stuff like that, because your tools are snapping. All right, your job is only as good as the tools that you have to do the job, and that goes with anything. Auto mechanics, it's the tools you have to do the job. Get the quality tools. Spend the extra money on the tools. Your job will go a lot easier. And same with management of businesses. Your tools are your people. You take care of your people take care of you, and your job looks done like it's been done better. So that is one rule of thumb I've learned to live by. Occasionally, I still pick up a cheapo set of tools, and knowing they're going to break and I'm going to throw them away. But if they're cheap enough, and I only need it one time, yeah, I'll do that. But then again, I still buy one-time tools that are quality. I had to do O2 sensors on my truck, upstream O2 sensors, and those things you don't want to do those. They are too tight, especially the passenger side upstream. Now, even when you pop the wire off, the clip wire off of it, you have no slack on it. Okay, no slack. The wire keeps it right where it needs to be. You have no room, no margin for error to put the wire onto the O2 sensor, and then pulling the O2 sensor out, you hit the firewall. So, and you get up in there, you can get 2 fingers in there, but that's about it. You can't get up and grab the clip. You can only do 2 fingers, so you got to try to finagle it somehow with your 2 fingers to get it on. Now, but I couldn't get that out of there with a wrench because there's no room to move the wrench. So I had to get a special O2 sensor wrench to get up in there because it's angled. And I wonder if I got it over here. Here it is. I bought this to do those O2 sensors. Okay, it's got the angle on it, and then you can angle this so you can get in and out any which way you want to. And this goes right over the O2 sensor. The slit's in there so that you can get it. The wiring that attaches to the O2, this goes over the wire so that you can get it on the O2 sensor and break it loose. And that's what the slit's on there for. Use that one time. Still got it. It's a pretty good one too. I don't know the name of it. But yeah, that thing held up nice. And I beat on it with a hammer too. I even had tools where I bought sets of tools where I wasn't sure what size I needed because it was out the store, and I had looked at the thing recently. So I bought two size sets, different sizes. Found the size in one of them, and I have sets of them still sitting in their plastic, never even opened yet. I've got some tools like that too. But hey, you know what? Even if you're going to use it one time, buy the thing. Just buy the tool. Build up your toolbox. You'll have that tool in there. Like I'm like the coil springs. I'm only going to. How many times am I going to do anything with coil springs? This will probably be the only time I do anything with coil springs. But I bought the coil spring compressor tool. That was like $35. Comes in a box case, nice case, and everything else. So I figured I'll get that. Another tool I bought. I was having problems with the fuel system on my truck. So I decided to buy see, paperwork's still in it. I decided to buy a fuel pressure kit, pressure tester kit. You know how many times I've used this? 0. I haven't used it yet. I fixed it without it. By the time this came in, I already had it fixed. Did I ship it back? No, I might use this. This is the kind of case that my coil spring compressors are coming in. But anyway, I do want to show you the one thing I did with her wheels, her rotors, that I'm going to be doing on the front as well. I'm going to take you over there and show you that in a second here. Alright. Well, you're not going to be able to see it until I get the light on here. Well, hold on, I'll do it a different way.